In the time before Eli became a ghost, he listened to the birds. He woke up each morning, walked into his backyard, closed his eyes, and inside of each breath, tried to listen for as many birds as possible. Birds in the tree overhead. Birds perched on the power lines above his garage, birds in his neighbor's backyard, birds down the block, birds down 2 blocks, birds across the city, birds across the continent, birds all at once. Amazing, he thought. How much bird song fits inside a single second? Were the birds from the last song the same as the birds in the next? Who knows? Who cares? Eli learned to stop asking where the bird song comes from, or who it belongs to, or whether or not any of the birds were singing for him. Each morning, he woke up, went outside, and he and the birds were there. Then one day he got on a plane and flew to Europe, where all the art is, all the Parises and Pantheons and paintings, and a particular Thursday that August, a strange thing happened. It was just before 3 p.m. Eli walked into the northeast wing of the Villa Borghese in Rome, saw Gian Lorenzo Bernini's Apollo and Daphne, stopped dead in his tracks, got an erection, lost an erection, stood in place for 1 hour, stood in place for 2 hours, finally emerged from the gallery into the sunlight, and just as he was about to spin around, rushed back inside to live it all over again, his skin turned to glass, he shattered right there on the portico and became a ghost. In the days since, Eli and I have been living and dying side by side. It's a lot like daydreaming. We don't wake up. We don't go outside. We sit at our desk, sifting through glass. We turn the pieces over in our hands. They're painted with the images of the last things Eli saw. Apollo, Daphne. Nothing else in the gallery. Apollo, Daphne, Daphne, Daphne. One day I ask him what we're looking for. He says, the glass is a fossil record of that Thursday. Evidence of his body is buried somewhere inside. It's all he needs to stop being a ghost. When we can't find it, he says, well, maybe if we can perfectly arrange the shards of glass into the exact shape of the whole that I've become, I'll come alive in that moment again and stop being a ghost. We give this a shot, but each shard is the same. Either the blank reflection of everything that Eli didn't see that day, or the Bernini over and over and over again. There is no way to give order to so much sameness. Eli says, can we take a break? I ask, go outside there, bird. No, he replies. We need to keep trying. There is more that we can do. We will take these blank shards for our canvases. We will paint a story into them, a story big enough to replace the body that he lost, a story that would explain how lifeless marble could be so beautiful, why he got a boner, how he became a ghost. I smile at him, but he doesn't smile back. He hands me a blank shard and he says, smile into that until the image of your teeth is etched into the glass. The only happiness worth having is happiness you can hold, and the only happiness you can hold needs nobody else. Now get to painting. So we did. We painted the beginning of time. Before the colors had even been invented, we painted the sun, punching a hole through the sky, going cascading into the sea. We painted this first embrace of yellow and blue. We called it green. We painted 1 trillion solitary cells feeling green for the first time. We painted their crafting of chlorophyll as a memorial. We painted the invention of oxygen. We painted extinctions. We painted coral reefs, their dissolution into sediment, and the reunion in stone. We painted a marble slab sent from the beginning of time, sent onto a collision course with Bernini, sent onto a collision course with Eli, standing in that room. And when we had finished painting all the glass, and we put Eli back in the order of 1,000 things that had never happened to him, he looked down at himself, and he asked me if he was as beautiful as the Bernini, as alive as the Bernini, as whole as the Bernini. I said, no, the Bernini was never alive. You were never dead. We were never whole. Do you see the fault lines in yourself? How false histories are leaking through the glass like blood that doesn't belong to you. You're transparent, but I see no heart beating inside of you. Just your own organs melting into molds of themselves. You did not become a ghost until the day you decided the present was too fleeting to fill you. It refused to take up residence inside of you like the past does so willingly. It refused to sit still and behave like a nice slab of marble. You didn't want to live or die anymore because you didn't want to have to forget anymore. What will you do the last time your mother smiles at you, Eli? Will you stand there and watch her die for 1 hour? Will you stand there and watch her die for 2 hours? How long until the image of her teeth is etched into all this glass. You can't hold on to happiness, only feel it reflected in the people standing in front of you. So why don't you just smile back? And as for that body that you've so desperately been looking for, well, I've been right here this whole time. And hearing this, Eli shattered. The shards of glass shattered. The dust of the shards of glass shattered. All that had been leaking from him evaporated instantly. All that had resided in him fled, and all that remained was a hole. The outline of an Eli waiting to be filled with something new. I stepped inside. It didn't fit perfectly, but it felt like home. Looking out from it, I saw everything like the clearest day. The crumbling stucco of my garage, the bougainvillea rising up between the power lines, the decommissioned control tower of LAX on the other side of Manchester Boulevard. I walked into my backyard, closed my eyes, took my first breath since I saw the Bernini last August, and in a fern tree overhead, I heard a bird begin to sing.